How many of you have been to a restaurant and have been given terrible service? That's why I picked this topic, so I know all of you can relate to it. I work in the service industry, guest or customer service, and I'm going to demonstrate to you how a proper server should serve a table according to law. So when a guest enters the place, you ask them how they are, obviously, welcome to wherever you work, and always, and you ask them how many people.
Just one.
Okay, then you ask them if they want to move their table or whatever accommodates their needs. So you take them to the table, food. And you ask them if this is okay.
Oh, this is perfect.
Sometimes you get people that are like, no, I want to sit next to the window, complicated people, whatever. But sometimes you get people like, well, that's good choice, that's food. So you ask them how they are, and sometimes the busser will approach the table first and ask them for their drink. But if you approach first, you say, hi, my name is Ariel, I'm going to be serving the table today, and you offer the specials. And most places have specials because obviously it's a special and you get certain things with it. So you ask them what they want to drink, and they tell you.
Water with lots of lemon.
And you typically give them 2 minutes. So you go get the drink, fill up the water, bring it back, ask them if they have any questions, and then you give them 2 minutes. So you go back. And you ask them, are you ready to order?
Yes.
So they tell you their order.
I would like meat, veggies, and fruit.
Okay. You take their order, and you tell them, would you like super salad with that, or anything else I can bring before the meal goes?
No, thank you.
So you go back to the computer, or however you give it to the cook, you put it in, and typically in most restaurants you have 12 minutes from when the order is taken to have the table have their food. So in most places, like my restaurant, we have special shoppers who come in and evaluate you. You have no idea if they're a shopper or not. So technically you have to be on your game at all times. So the food's ready. 10 minutes later, take it out. And when you place a plate down, normally in my restaurant you have the meat, the vegetables, and the fruit. The meat is the main course, so you're supposed to place it in front of them. Not on the side, not on the front, just in the front of them, because it's easier to approach the meat, I guess, that's what they say. So you give them some time. And you go back 2 minutes later. We have a rule called 2 minutes, 2 bites. So you either watch them, which is kind of weird, and you have 2 bites, or you go back 2 minutes later and say, how was your food?
Oh, everything is just delightful.
Is there anything else I can get for you?
No, I'm
Good. Okay. So you come back. And the way I look at it is when I'm at a restaurant or being served, I want to constantly be able to see my server. If I need anything so that she sees me, there's eye contact, everything's good. So you're always in the servers, or you're always in the customer's view, so if they need anything, or if you see them, or they give you a little snap or whatever, and you accommodate them. So say she has just a little bit of drink left. You go back, and you give them a refill. When you pick up the glass, you're always supposed to pick up glass, first of all. Say it's coffee, whatever. You pour it in, and then you put it back. Have you guys ever been to a place where they just pour it right on your table?
Yeah.
Well, that's wrong. Because if you pour and it gets everywhere, that's just bad. So it's bad on you, it's bad on the restaurant, it's bad on customer service. You know what drink and you go back. Always in their view. So everything's great. She's done with her food. So you see she's done. You always pre-buzz the table. When you pick up the food, you say, we have an awesome dessert menu, would you like to see it? Sure. I'll be right back. So you take the food to the bus train or wherever you guys are. You pick up the menu, bring it back to them, obviously. Say they don't want anything. You offer anything else that you could get for them, they say no, you leave the table. And to finish my presentation, customer service where I work is the customer's always right. For example, I get a lot of customers who order something, you bring it out, and they're like, oh, I didn't order that, and you know for sure you ordered that, or they ordered that. It really makes me mad, so I'm just like, okay. And I go into the kitchen, get some of their stuff. But to end in conclusion, it's something really great.
That was just vibrating. Oh, wow. That is my stressful.
I thought it was like so inspired.
Want to go to your restaurant?
Yeah, we're
Where are you? Holly?
Which one?
Yep, right
There
there.
it is. Have a field trip. Let's get pies over
There's no strawberry right now, but we have like strawberry, but we don't have all of them. Like I want to do like banana
All right, Ariel, we're going to keep the comments really short because we do have two more speakers we're going to try and get in. The audience survey, I think you want to plan something a little bit more. It's obviously all chronological in organization. Sometimes you're telling us things that seem pretty obvious and intuitive. I think it's more interesting to talk about those things that are unique. For instance, the placement of the plate, the pouring of the drinks. I think those things that there's a reason behind the way you do things. The rule of 2 bites or 2 minutes. I kind of like that information, but it does seem like it's you're going through the whole motion of pretending to serve somebody, and 80% of that is stuff that people are going to know. It's just going to be a repeat of experiences that they've had. So I think you could focus a little bit more on the unique stuff, and that would make it a little bit more interesting. The presentation, you do okay. You look at the audience for the most part when you're trying to. When you're acting out things, you did okay on that. It does seem that there's a lot of back and forth, though, and that there's got to be a better way to do that or simulate it instead of pretending to pantomime the whole thing out. All right, thank you.